to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to another episode of A Well-Designed Business. It's Power Talk Friday. This is a solo show today because I have a few things to say. First of all, I want to share with you that LuAnn Live, which was held a month ago here in New Jersey, was an outstanding success, and that is because of each of the nearly 200 designers, speakers and panelists, sponsors that all attended, and not the least of which was my team that absolutely rocked it in executing this event. And I want to say that, first of all, it was an extremely special experience. If you were there, you know just what I'm talking about. There was sort of like an electricity for 2.5 days in the room. And more than a few people commented on that to me. And I have to say, I 100% agree. And the other thing that's interesting is, if you're not aware of the event, we just put a blog post up on it on my website at LuAnnNigara.com, and it gives you a little bit of an overview of what we did. But the thing about it is that we ran from 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday till 9:30 at night together, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 9:30 at night. The only break was to eat. And the eating was together, not on your own, see you in 3 hours, right? And then on Sunday, we ran from 8 o'clock in the morning till nearly 6 o'clock at night, had a 2-hour break, and then met again at 8 o'clock for a party, for dancing and dinner. And I'm pretty sure we were in the bar after the dancing and dinner was over till probably 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yes, we were. And then on Monday, we had our special VIP experience, and that went from 8 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason I'm recounting this schedule is because many people said to me, "You can't do that, LuAnn. You cannot expect people to be able to stay in a room that long without a break, be able to focus, be, interested." And the simple fact is that I had a vision, and I thought, you know what? It's either going to work or it's not going to work, but I want to do it the way I want to do it. And we did it, and everybody stayed in the room, and it really was off the hook. We did 6 live panel discussions on Saturday and 6 live panel discussions on Sunday. And the fact of the matter is it felt like there were 20 of us in the room, not 200, because it was an interactive conversation too. We did 25 or 30 minutes of talking on the panel, but then it literally in a single, panel discussion, there could have been 8, 10, 15 questions or comments from the audience. And it just was very special. And the thing about it is, what I want to say is I've been to several places since then, in person, in meeting you, Boston and Palm Springs, and over at the show house for the Valerie Fund here in New Jersey. And many people, many designers are saying, oh, and High Point was in there since then. Are you going to do it again? Yes, I'm going to do it again. It was too off the hook, amazing, crazy fun, and just so intense in the very best way that there's no way I would not do it again. So yeah, we're doing it again. All right. I don't know when. I mean, it's coming. We're working on it. We're figuring it out. But it could be 8 months to a year until we do it again. And in between then, I will be announcing the smaller one day events, the Power Talk Friday tours. We'll be doing a couple of those during the year. There's a lot of stuff coming up during the year, honestly. There's a lot of stuff coming up. But the thing is that I wanted to say that when so much information is put at you, there is this tendency to be so excited in the moment and so energized and have, like I always say, all this stuff in a notebook, but you got to take it and do something with it. Okay. And so for all of us that were there, please take action. Take a tiny little thing and put it into action. And even if you weren't there, you're having this experience with the podcast every week. And of course, I end every show saying, decide to be excellent. What are you going to do? And the thing about it is I say that because I mean it. I really, really do mean it. And the reality is that when I meet certain of you in real life, it is so abundantly clear those of you that are actually understanding that excitement and action are two very different things. And what's my tagline? Turn inspiration into action. So I feel like I'm doing my very, very best to provide inspiration to you, but I need you to turn that into action. Okay. And so there are lots of ways to get help doing that if you need it. Of course, you've got my new book that just came out at the launch of LuAnn Niagara Live. It's about the conversation, A Well-Designed Business to Power Talk Friday Experts. So in this book are 12 of my favorite human beings on the planet that have shared their business advice with you. So it's a way where you pick up a chapter and say, all right, what am I finally going to do about my finances here? So you read Michelle Williams' chapter on planning to profit, okay? Or what the heck does it mean to have a brand again? They're always talking about that on the podcast. So you pick up Nicole's chapter and you read it, okay? The thing is that whether it's picking up the book, whether it's hiring a coach, whether it's joining a mastermind, whether it's starting your own accountability circle or, Skype group or Zoom group or whatever it is with a couple of your besties, I don't care what it is, but I do care that you do it. Okay. So I just wanted to, do a little thing on that and thank everybody who came and thank all the sponsors because they were just outstanding. And there were 12 or 15 sponsors. So I'm not even going to attempt to try and name them here, but I would love for you to go over and check out the blog post on LuAnnNiagara.com. And you will see the pictures from the event, which Mike Von Tassel took the pictures. And Mike is actually an interiors photographer here in New Jersey. But oh my goodness, I'm looking at the man going, are you sure you don't want to switch to doing people? Because he really, really captured the day. But imagine what he does with his superpower, which is interior. So if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, I would not hesitate to reach out to call Mike. All the information's on the website, okay? All right, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about today is I've had this opportunity the last couple of months to do a lot of traveling and make a lot of presentations. And one of the things that I find myself talking about with you guys is upping your game. Okay. And everybody says, oh, I need more clients. I'm not sure how to do it. And the thing is, there are just some basic things that you can give some thought to and apply, and they will make tiny little changes in the way you think and the way you act. But these changes can domino effect and make nice changes for your business. Okay. So the first of these changes is mindset. You got to check your mindset, all right? Because if you are one of those, oh, that won't work for me, guy or gal, you're dead in the water. I'm just going to tell you, you're dead in the water. Because if you will not at least open your mind to the possibility that someone else has achieved success with a particular skill or task or strategy that they're sharing with you, and you do that, oh, I tried it, it didn't work. Like, that makes me nuts. Okay. So check your mindset at the door. The other thing about mindset is to really give some thought to what are your values surrounding money? Right? What are the stories that you tell yourself surrounding money? So there are stories that we tell ourselves surrounding money that have to do with taking care of our money. So Michelle Williams, she talks a lot about, oh, I'm a creative, and so therefore I don't understand numbers. And she says, get that song out of your head. And I agree with her. And here's the thing. I am a creative and I don't understand numbers. That's, we're not saying it's not true. Okay. You've heard me try and, do times tables on the show in the moment. But the point isn't pretending, oh, okay, I'll just change my mindset and I'm good at numbers. No, the idea and the lesson is to get yourself some education, some information, a partner, a buddy. I know I'm so darn lucky I have the Vin Man, but you do have to educate yourself with it. And I'll tell you, it's so funny. This is a funny little story. I didn't expect to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. We were doing the autopsy of LuAnn Niagara Live, myself and the Vin Man. This was about 2 weekends ago. It was 2 weekends after the event. And I said to him, because you know that we spend as much time together alone at our beach house on the weekends, especially in every season other than the summer, because it's so darn crowded there in the summer. But we were down there, and I said to him, I'm going to need some time today. He's like, okay, for what? What do you mean? What's going on? I said, I'm going to need some undivided time today of yours to help me with the autopsy for LuAnn Niagara Live. He's like, okay, sure. What do you have in mind? And I said, well, when are we going to do this, Vin Man? So we made an appointment for that afternoon where I knew that he was not going to be having one eye on the Yankees or one eye with wanting to go out and rake the yard or whatever crazy stuff he likes to do, right? And so I sat him down and I said, let's go all through everything that I spent, all the expenses we incurred. Let's go through all the revenue that came in through ticket sales and sponsorship and XYZ. I want to come to that, and I want us to go through and see if there are situations and places where we think maybe it was not a good expenditure, or situations and places where I could have maximized something or something like that. And so what's funny is I had it all on an Excel spreadsheet. It was the first time in my entire life I've ever created my own Excel spreadsheet. That's the truth. Okay. I've never done it before. If I've worked on one before, which is true, it's somebody else creates it. But this one I did, and it sort of was very creative because it wasn't quite very accounting-ish like, but it was an Excel spreadsheet and had multiple things on it. And, I had kept this sheet. I started this sheet back in December when I started planning the event. And then I spent the 2 weeks after the event filling in to the penny as the invoices were coming in, all of the line items on the sheet. And as I'm sitting there with my computer screen open and I'm going through and I'm looking at the screen and I'm describing it to him, and I'm like sharing my observations where I thought, we could have done better there, or I should have this and that. At one point I look up at him and legit the man has tears in his eyes. He's literally with his eyes welled up. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm just looking at you. And I'm like, what? He goes, look at you. Look at this. Like, what are you not? So here's the thing. You can learn this stuff, right? You can learn this stuff. And of course, I have learned much of it over the years through him, but because there's no reason for him to really know that I learned it, and there's been no place for him to really see that I've learned it, it was just so funny. It was hysterical. So I just share that with you because the reality is that, this mindset thing. So don't tell yourself that you don't understand finances, and don't tell yourself that it's too hard, because you know what? You don't understand it possibly, and it is too hard, but so what? Get over it. That's it. Bottom line, run a business or don't. That's it. Okay. The other mindset thing that we have to really pay attention to is our mindset about money, because a lot of times when we start our businesses and we price out our own services, we think that's insane. I couldn't afford that. I wouldn't pay that for that. I can't charge $150 an hour for my time. That's too expensive. Get rid of it. Okay? Because here's what you know to be true. Whatever town you're in, I promise you this, whatever town you are in, particularly if you're in a community of 25,000 people or more. Now, if you're in one of these remote areas with 2 or 3 or 5 or 10,000 people, maybe I can't say this with 100% certainty, okay? But I would still say it with at least 70% certainty, okay? If there is, I'll tell you this, I don't care how small your town is. If your town has 3 interior designers in it, let's say that, I guarantee you that you're all at a different rate. Okay. Now, take it to a more logical analogy. You're a town of 30 or 40,000 people. Forget the big cities of hundreds of thousands of people, right? You know right now that whatever rate you're at, whether you're at 85 an hour, 125 an hour, 250 an hour, 350 an hour, 500 an hour, there is somebody in your area, say a 30, 40, 50-mile radius of you, that is more expensive than you and less expensive than you. It's just a simple fact. So this mindset of, in our area, we can't charge that much, stop. Just stop. Okay, just stop. That's it. Stop it. You will charge what you believe you are worth. That's the simple fact of it. So if you're a baby designer and you opened up shop in the last year or two and your confidence is not high yet, that's understandable. You're brand new in business, so your hourly may reflect that. But if you also, on the other hand, have opened your business and you've spent 5-6 years working for someone else and you've got a good body of experience and confidence behind you, you could be brand new in business and start at $250 an hour. So you see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with how new your business is. It has everything to do with your confidence in your ability. And once you understand that mindset, now that's when you set your price. It has nothing to do with what you think your area can afford. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so that's my little 2 cents on mindset. The other thing is that, we want to look the part. Fred Berns talked about this. It was episode 289, The Habits of Luxury Designers. And when we talk about looking the part, we don't mean you're carrying a Gucci handbag. We mean that your website, your Instagram, anything that faces to the consumer, your website, your Instagram, your Facebook, your car, your dress, the way you dress, everything, your business cards, your thank you cards, if you have a studio, everything that faces to the consumer looks the part that you want to attract. So if you want to attract luxury, your website better look luxury. If you want to attract luxury, your Instagram better be spot on. Okay? You want to attract cozy, regular folks that understand that, life is life and dogs and kids and stuff are a part of it, then yeah, go ahead, put that out there. But my point of it is that we have been told over and over and over again that what you look like is what you will attract. And if you are trying to up your game and move to a higher level luxury client, then you must look back and let go of some of these things. So if your portfolio doesn't look fabulous, then take the darn thing down. Okay, just take it down. Take it down and put some vignette shots up of, your mother's house, your house, whatever it is. I don't care. The simple fact is there's no I'll have these pictures up while I wait until I get other pictures. See, because while those pictures are up, whatever they look like, that's what you're going to attract. All right. And so it's not a matter of luxury is the only game, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is I hear all the time when I go around to events, I'm trying to get higher end clients and I'm not sure how to do it. So I'm telling you that's one of the things that's very important. And Fred Berns' episode there on the habits of luxury designers is a good one. Also, we had the episode with Vincere, episode number 356. They are luxury designers, these guys, in Chicago, and they talked a lot about how they built that. We have episode 3:45 with Chris Ramey, and he is an expert in marketing to the luxury client. I love it. His line was, if you remember it, was, "You do not market to the luxury client, you fascinate them." Perfect line. Okay. And then also the episode with Sandra Espinet, which I don't have the number in front of me. Sorry. But she's a luxury interior designer, and her conversation, we weren't necessarily talking about how to do luxury design. It just was so apparent that that's the only pool that she's ever dipped her toe in. And it was interesting to me having a conversation with Sandra, beautiful woman inside and out, certainly very, very gracious lady and smart, but it was like she was the actual real life version of what all the experts say to do. It was kind of funny. So it's good to listen to them together, right? Anyway. Okay. So the other thing is that when you are doing your business and you are working with your clients, I want you to not save their money. Okay. It is not your job to save their money. All right. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean blow their money. I don't mean spend it needlessly. I don't mean take advantage of them. I mean that you are fully responsible for whatever level client you are working with, to inform them of the very best thing that they could possibly have for a particular problem or challenge that you can come up with. Okay? Because that's why people come to experts, and that's you. You're the expert. Okay? So if I am a regular Joe in middle America and I am hiring you to do my hall bathroom, I'm counting on you to let me know about the latest and greatest in shower heads. I'm counting on you to let me know about the latest and greatest technology in faucets. I'm counting on you to deliver to me a design plan that has an outstanding tile combination, right? Now, once you deliver that to me, as far as, telling me about it, presenting it to me or whatever, when you give me the price, if I then don't want it, that's okay. Okay. Then you say, no problem. You don't need a $3,000 faucet. Here's a $400 one, right? Or whatever the darn prices are. Okay. But the reason that I suggested this expensive faucet was because you have 3 kids, and this makes it easy when you're, whatever the things faucets do that make things easy. I don't know these things, okay? But my point is, when you're designing, you think about the needs for that particular client. And if you're dealing with a baby boomer couple that that are downsizing, but they have a certain level of luxury that they're looking for, then in that case, I'm going to be, as the baby boomer couple, wanting to know from you what's been going on in bathroom design since the last time I designed a bathroom 15 years ago, right? What cool things are there? And, are there different types of showers where in another 10 years when I can't lift my leg, that, it might cost me more money now, but I should have it because in 15 years or so, I'm going to be 70 years old, right? So, and it's the same thing. There's needs if I come to you and I'm a young couple with 3 kids, what are the features and the benefits? I don't even know to ask you for them, right? That's the thing. But it's your job to let me know. Now, if a particular feature or benefit is of great value to me at whatever stage or demographic or whatever aesthetic I'm in, but I can't afford it, that's okay. Then I don't get it, right? You don't lower the price so I get it. Your only job is to make sure that you've informed me, that you've let me know what is possible. You've let me know what's coming, and I can say no. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a great example of this. This is an awesome example. I am currently working on a project with a designer, and she has been a designer for probably going on 40 years now. Her and I have worked together for almost 30 years, and she's really super talented, and she's always had a very clean, forward contemporary vibe to her. Even, 25 years ago when everybody was doing Tuscan, she still always had this little extra oomph about her, and very good at what she does. And she's been mostly, I would say somewhat retired for the last 4 or 5 years. Cherry picks a job, maybe has done one job, two jobs, probably a total of 3 or 4 projects in the last 7 or 8 years. And because the reality is that she's got 2 or 3 grandchildren now, and she's busy, and she's at that point of her life. She's, probably in early 60s, and she doesn't need to work. And so she's enjoying life, right? But she had this opportunity to do this huge home here, all from the ground up. Like it's gorgeous. It's probably, 12 or 15,000 square feet. It's a young couple in their 30s. And of course, it's a dream job. And she always did those types of projects, by the way, all along during the years. But it's funny because knowing that she hasn't really done a ton of work in the last 5 or 6 years, each time we're talking about the window treatments, I keep saying to her, are you sure you don't want to motorize these? Are you sure you don't want to motorize these? And she's like, I don't know. What do they need to be motorized for? And I'm saying to her, I know they actually don't need to be motorized. But in this day, I'm rarely selling window treatments at this level to this level client that's not motorized. I said, and, these are kids in their early 30s, and, their doorbells are motorized, and they're watching people at their front door when they're, on their vacation in Disneyland with their kids. And I'm just saying to her, it's a different world. And she's like, And I said to her, here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't care if they motorize it or not. I don't care if you think they should be motorized or not, but I want you to present. I want you to at least ask them. I said, because I don't want, for your sake, I don't want this house to be finished. And 6 or 7 or 8 months after it's finished, they start to have all of their friends over, and every one of their friends comes in and says, wait, your blinds aren't hooked to your iPhone, and your drapes aren't operating off of the iPad, and then turn around and look at you and say, what the heck, man, you never told me about this stuff. You see, that's exactly my point. You are the expert. And so she did. And so ultimately, because we had this conversation well before walls were closed, they went and wired the most important areas for motorization. And they didn't motorize, in the 19, kid bedrooms. I think there's 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms, whatever it is. But they motorized the master bath, the master study, living room, the major areas, okay? And that is exactly the point, because it's your job to let people know. And then the only other side of that coin is, don't save their money for them. All right. Be the expert, offer all of your advice. The other side of that coin, don't save their money for them, is if they were to say, yeah, we really want the motorization here, LuAnn and designer, but that extra $15,000 for the, 7 windows, that's too much. Can we just have it for, $8,000 or $7,000 or whatever crazy number people come up with? It's like, no, sweetie, no. So you don't save their money for them. You suggest the very best that that they should have, and that's a good idea for them. And you don't save their money for them by lowering your price if they've now been convinced, but they want you to chip it in. No and no. Okay. All right. And then the other thing that I want to say to you is customer service. Every single level of business that you do, it is so critical that your customer service is locked down. And this is for your very first client all the way to when you are a seasoned designer and with many years under your belt and many customers and many clients. And the thing is, it's funny because coming up in about 3 weeks, teaser alert, about 3 weeks, Nate Berkus is going to be on the show. Yay. But I interviewed him recently, and it's so funny because him and I share the opinion on customer service to a T, like literally to a T. So the thing about it is that you are a business, and it is always most important that you do the right thing by your client and you give them the very best service that you can. And the thing, it's so funny because he says what I always say all the time. People know when you're full of crap. People know when you're lying. People know when you have delivered, I don't know, a sofa and it's way too big in the room and they say it's way too big in the room and you're like, I don't know. I think big sofas are in now. It's horse crap and you know it and they know it. And the thing is, you only diminish yourself in their eyes by pretending. And what I find with so many business owners, and this is the lesson here, is that you're afraid to diminish yourself in the eyes of your client by saying, I've made a mistake. By admitting and saying, yeah, you're right, that's really pretty crazy pants in this room. It's way too big. You see, that does not diminish you in front of your client. That is a grown-up who looks and says, son of a gun, you know what? I thought it was going to work and it doesn't. And I'm really sorry, but I 100% agree with you that this monstrosity has got to go. And you take it out. And that's that. Because you're pretending that it's fine and it's going to work and blah, blah, blah. Or even the client that doesn't push you back, that will let you off the hook on it in per se, they won't come back to you, right? And so it's the sort of thing where we don't always tell someone when we're upset with them on the service that they give. Right? I mean, you all have had that experience where we were just recently out in Palm Springs for the IDS conference. What an amazing conference. What an amazing group of people. Interior Design Society people. Oh my goodness. If you can join the IDS, if there's a chapter in your area, I say join. I'm telling you what an outstanding, and do you just hear my voice? Like I'm telling you, different. Outstanding group of people. Supportive, loving, caring, amazing. Loved every second of it. So, we were just out there and it was funny because there was one night that we were off and my son and my daughter-in-law live in LA and they came in and my husband and the four of us had dinner at this one restaurant. And it was a really nice restaurant. Really, I mean, the food was amazing, exquisite, truly like that level up food. But what's funny was that the waiter was only okay. He was only okay. And so my son says to me, he goes, he's not, he didn't do such a good job tonight. When we got back to the hotel, we were playing pool. And I said, that's so funny because I felt the same way. And my daughter-in-law was like, it was fine. The food was amazing. And the thing was, there was a nuance in this that my son and I were trying to explain. And the nuance was this, that he was, whenever he was in our presence, this waiter, he was the epitome of elegance and class, no question. Whenever he was in our presence, he was very helpful and considerate and polite. But he wasn't in our presence often enough, quite frankly. Like he took our order and the food was delivered and he never came back and said, how is everything? He never came back and took the bottle of wine off the table and poured some more. And we didn't see him again until it was time to ask us if we wanted dessert. And that's okay when you're at Fridays, right? That's okay when you're at Applebee's. But when you're at that level up experience, that level up restaurant, picture it. Haven't you been at a restaurant like that where the waiter comes over about partway? First, he should come within 5-10 minutes of dinner being served just to make sure you're not missing anything to make your meal taste better, right? Any condiment, whatever. But shouldn't they come over about another 15 minutes, 20 minutes later and ask how everything is? And can't you picture them picking up the bottle of wine on the table that you're perfectly capable of picking up yourself, but then the waiter gives everybody more wine from the bottle, right? You see, it's that extra. It's that little bit that makes it amazing. And so when you think about delivering customer service to your clients, think about both sides of that. The one is taking ownership of anything that isn't right and not making excuses for it, but owning it and discussing it and saying, hey, how can we fix this? I agree with you, or I'm not that thrilled with this either. Let's make it better. And the other is thinking about the touches that create that experience that make it better. Okay. So, these are just some rambling thoughts that I have today. But it is because I have been traveling a lot and talking a lot with you in person and understanding some of the struggles that you are facing and some of the questions that are just burning in your brains. Okay. So I'm going to leave by telling you, I thank you so much for showing up every single week and listening to the show. I thank you so much for showing up when I come out to your area to meet you. I just can't tell you how much I love and adore that and love meeting each of you and hearing your stories. And I just want to say also, too, a huge thank you to both Cravat and Mydoma. Please don't forget with Cravat that you've got your 10% off for one purchase on any Cravat fabric wallpaper or trim, and you will add AWDB10 at your checkout. And they have a huge sale going on in the clearance part of their website now, the outlet center. I don't know that the coupon would work in the sale, but my goodness, the sales are so crazy. I wouldn't waste a coupon there, quite frankly, because I know a couple of years ago, I got this amazing, I needed like 35 yards of fabric to do my granddaughter Bella's nursery. And my daughter lived in a high rise at the time on Jersey City and huge wraparound windows. And I got the most beautiful Cravat fabric from their outlet. I think it was like $4 a yard. And it was, 10 times less than it normally was. And just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I think that's happening now. The outlet has got huge sales on. So get over to your e-design.com site for Cravat. And if you haven't opened up your trade account yet, please do that. And then don't forget, you've got Mydoma Studio. Mydoma Studio has got time tracking, and they've got billing for your clients, and you can create projects and, all kinds of things happening over there. Really, the bottom line comes down to two things with Mydoma Studio: helping you be more organized, which presents a more professional face to your client, and helping you run a project more smoothly. Okay, these are the things that are happening at MyDomaStudio.com. Okay, so head over to MyDomaStudio.com/a-well-designed-business. All right, and get your free trial going and see if you can't help you run your business more productively. I mean, the thing too there is you just save a ton of time by putting your projects into Mydoma Studio, and time equals money. Right? Time equals money. All righty, peeps. I have to say, thank you. Absolutely huge thank you and congratulations to all of my co-authors in the book. You can get the book on Amazon, or you can go to LuAnnNiagara.com/book2. And a huge thanks to all the sponsors that participated in LuAnn Niagara Live. It's about the conversation. Please visit my website and take a look at those sponsors, and make sure you give a shout out to them and let them know how much we appreciate them helping me do this for you. All right? Pick something, be excellent, decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at LuAnnNiagara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.